Earth was attacked. We won the war, but they destroyed half the planet. Everyone's been evacuated. Nothing human remains. Our job is security and drone maintenance. We're the mop-up crew.
2 more weeks, Jack, and we can leave and join the others.
Doesn't seem right. We won the war. Now we have to leave.
This is Mission Control. How y'all doing this morning?
Don't take any chances. It's dangerous down there.
Good old-fashioned Tom Cruise that we've got here. Always running from some shadowy agency. Always fighting aliens and monsters. Well, always just running, period.
Running his ass off, dangling from wires.
Yes. Yeah, dangling from wires. Yeah,
I mean, running from a giant fireball.
A fireball or a spaceship.
Did we mention running?
Yeah, we did. Yeah, the only thing that he's not doing in this movie is being a dick to somebody because he's the only one on Earth.
That's true. Well, I was so getting ready to call this the continuing adventures of Jack Reacher in the future.
And that's another thing. He plays another character named Jack. He's done that about 3 times already. And get this man another name.
And he's a badass.
And he's a badass. Yeah, he is. And again, big deal because ain't nobody around to see him do it. What?
Malfunctioning right now. Tom Cruise, where are you?
He's taking it from your tongue right now.
Get him off.
I uploaded a virus from my Macintosh to your
You got sparks and steam coming out of you, man.
Tom Cruise, where you running to?
That's how they goes is one of those drones.
This is Tom Cruise crazy.
Yeah. No, go ahead. What were you trying to say?
Oh, I forget.
What? All that trouble and you can't. Damn it.
Thank you, Tom Cruise. Saving everyone from a bad joke.
He really is a badass, isn't he? Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what. Somebody thought that this script for this movie was so badass that it was going to be a graphic novel, and somebody, I think at Disney, came in and said, wait, don't draw that shit. Let us make it into a movie.
Is that what happened? Like the graphic novel never came out? Because at the end when they said based on the graphic novel, by the same guy who wrote it, I was like, oh, I don't even know.
Never released.
Well, as soon as I saw that on the screen, the first thing I thought about was like, okay, how come these funny book boys that we hang out with, how come they haven't told us about this?
Yeah, holding house on it.
Yeah, like you guys don't read comic books. Please give it a rest.
Nah, not since I was 13.
And after I had that thought, I was like, oh, it probably sucked.
But if I have Wikipedia, right? I was reading up on this, of course, doing my Wikipedia thing, and they were saying that Disney came in and wanted to make a movie out of this. Couldn't make it a PG-13 movie. So Universal got it, and they said, you go ahead and do that shit. We don't want to
do what you got to do.
Yeah.
Well, they snatched up the director of Tron Legacy.
Yeah, what's that boy's name?
Joseph Kaczynski.
Because man, you did. I was looking at you. I was like, he's gonna fuck that name up. You showed me.
Once again, thank you, Tom Cruise.
Yeah, and and if you've seen Tron Legacy, in my humble opinion, I know I don't share it with everybody. I think it's a great looking film. I don't think the story is that strong.
Man, Tron Legacy is a piece of shit.
Hey.
Damn.
That's a little harsh.
But that is a little harsh.
But it sure is pretty.
But show is pretty. Yeah.
That's the thing is, like, with this film, I don't think it's a piece of shit.
No.
It's certainly, it's almost like writing by committee with a whole team of people who've seen every big concept sci-fi film and sci-fi action went, what worked? Okay, we'll pull that in, but we got to cover it up like this. Okay, and then we'll put Maverick from Top Gun in the lead role. And keep reminding you of Top Gun all the way through the film.
And if I can add something to that whole Tron Legacy thing, it's like, yes, it looked pretty, but it also sounded amazing, especially with that amazing score by Daft Punk in it.
Yeah, and this movie, Daft Punk did the same soundtrack, right?
They did.
No, they didn't. No.
Well, they got apparently Hans Zimmer was busy, so they just got 2 other guys. Said, "Hey man, can you make this sound like Hans Zimmer?"
Thank you. Did you not hear Batman there? Dun dun dun.
Dun. I kept waiting. I kept waiting for Batman to come out of that pod shit or whatever.
But co-host, you wait for Batman to come into every movie.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, you waiting on Batman to come out the bathroom right now.
You guys say that like it's a bad thing. That's what I get.
I know. Oh, here he comes. Hey, don't go in there. You might want to give it about 10 minutes.
But yeah, with the soundtrack, it's actually done by M83, which I found baffling because, like you said, it sounded so much like Hans Zimmer. But then again, on the Tron Legacy sound on the score, Hans Zimmer actually helped Daft Punk with that score.
Yeah, they did it together.
Oh my God, you are so gay for Hans Zimmer.
Hey, he makes some damn good dance music.
I love Hans.
Hey, Hans, you at the club again tonight, huh?
He makes the funky groove.
You boys ready to dance or what? Who's ready to dance with me, fellas?
Yeah, looking like sprockets over there.
Let's dance.
Hans and
Where's my
co-hosts
monkey?
are going to pump you up.
Hey, please touch my monkey in my Hans Zimmer.
Touch my monkey. Dancing with my monkey.
You know, it's funny. Like most of the time, it's Hans Zimmer, but every once in a while, and it's funny because at one point they show like some like an album by Asia. Do you remember that
Right.
band? And every once in a while, it actually does kind of sound like Asia in that whole period, like of like synth pop stuff. And I was like, wait a minute, what the fuck just happened to the soundtrack?
It sounded like the score of Manhunter from the Michael Mann film
yeah,
sometimes.
which was Tangerine Dream, I believe.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Tangerine
you
Dream.
did notice that he put on the Asia record,
Yes.
but then it played Led
Then
Zeppelin.
it played Led Zeppelin. I was like, wait, what the
But like
fuck?
somebody say like, nah, man.
Yeah,
Asia's,
okay.
Asia's too pussy to be playing.
So in
this
the movie, he did put on the
He
Asian
put on
record,
the Asia
and
album.
because they were playing Led Zeppelin at one point.
Yeah.
See, that's the thing, man. If you're gonna try and do an homage to the '70s, because that's what this movie is supposed to be. It's
Right.
supposed to be a tip of the hat to '70s
Sci-fi.
to '70s sci-fi movies.
Yeah, it's like a stew of all the major sci-fi movies from the 70s.
And more modern stuff too.
Yeah,
but
some of
like
it, too.
Logan's Run is certainly like there.
Yep.
Planet of the Apes is certainly there.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, but then again, so is The Matrix.
In a big-
easily
in a
the
big
Matrix,
way.
yeah.
And some other things. I'm like, man, you ain't. Apparently, you don't know movies and you don't know fucking music from the '70s.
Well, it doesn't help when they bring in Morgan Freeman to play Morpheus.
Yeah. I was like, you're even going to dress him in all leather? Are you
Yeah.
sure?
Well, even down to him doing that thing where Tom Cruise says something and he goes,
Well, like you're doing the shots where you see Tom Cruise reflected in his sunglasses for the
Yeah.
shot. Like, come on, guys.
Yeah. Tom Cruise in this movie, he plays another guy named Jack, as we said. What's his name? Jack Kruger, Harper.
Jack
whatever.
Harper.
What Jack? Shit.
Jackie.
Yeah, Jackie boy.
That's what I call him.
Yeah, he plays. I guess he's sort of. Is he an engineer of some sort?
well, he's called a tech.
a tech. Yeah.
And it's like a two-man team where one person is communications. They stay at the base and tell him what to do, and he's the action man.
Yeah, and
he's tech security. Is
And
what
an actress Andrea Rosenborough, I think is her name. Yeah, she's the woman that he's also romantically involved with. But they're a team. They're a tight team. She watches over him while he goes down to Earth. And apparently, years ago, there was an alien invasion that came down, destroyed all life, and now Jack is part of a team that's trying to restore life. And part of that is going down and repairing drones that will get rid of all of the alien life that's left.
And they call them scavs.
Yeah, he's not really
Scab or
restoring
scab?
life.
It's like short for scavengers.
The
Called
human
scabs.
race has escaped to the moon of Titan of Jupiter, right? And that's like now, okay, everybody's there except for a few people in this floating space station nearby, and then their little place where they go down, they take care of these drones. Its job it is to protect these giant machines that suck water up from the oceans to use for hydroelectric energy
to restore the atmosphere.
well,
Not
no,
the
it's-
atmosphere.
No,
Because they're planning to get everybody from Earth onto
yeah,
Titan.
they're sending it all to Titan. It's all like energy for Titan.
You know something? I don't know why I didn't get all this because they
'Cause
give
you were
the-
falling asleep
Well,
most of the movie.
also because Tom Cruise he gives you this exposition twice in the movie.
he does.
it at the beginning, and then another character comes in where he says, "You know what? You weren't here at the beginning of the movie. Let me recap this for you again."
I think that second one was for your benefit. They were like, because you were asleep, but they stopped the movie and said like, "Hey, listen, I know Corey's out there and he might be nodding out right now."
I
So
think
wake him
Tom
up-
Cruise
wake him up so
actually
he can hit his part.
Yeah, I think Tom Cruise actually came up to the screen and said, "Leon, is that Negro asleep again? Damn, I gotta explain this again.
that fool up.
I don't know
Did
why
it
he
twice
didn't-
already.
I don't know why he didn't just send you a text on your phone. You would have checked it.
I would have known it right there."
It's not like the movie wasn't loud enough to keep you awake.
Sir, could you cut your phone off? No, Tom Cruise just texted me. He told me about the movie. Well, watch it then.
They should have played the opening credits again just for you, so we can make that Hans Zimmer because that actually happened. Yeah,
I know. And don't you say nothing because next week you're gonna be asleep too.
Oh, I know. I just want to point out that it's not always me.
I thought it was very humorous that he was oblivious during this film.
Don't laugh at that. Don't you laughing at either?
I ain't laughing. I'm crying.
I know, yeah, me too. Stop. But
I love that you do a bad pun almost every week, Corey. We just sit here and go, God damn it.
No, we call him out on it.
yeah,
Oh, we do.
the
Don't
thing
worry about
is-
that.
The thing is, I know it's bad. I expect y'all to turn around and tell me, shut up, boy. But man, I love the look of this movie. It is gorgeous. It is amazing. All that and the 70s stories, they're also trying to do it with the look of the film, and they do. All the white that you see, I mean, it's not unlike the ship that, like Mother, that you would see in Alien, except that it's all this takes time in bright light.
Yeah. Well, a lot of it reminded me of 2000.
I was about to say,
2001.
a lot of the
Space
look
Odyssey.
of the designer stuff had that sort of ultra clean, that kind of future look.
It's Stanley Kubrick kind of
It's
look.
interesting because it's all so familiar and yet unique at the same time. Just so much great production design went into all this. I was like, man, you know what? I don't even care about this story so much, but the design that went into every little bit, all the details, all the effects, the sound production. This is amazing. I mean, this is worth the money right here. Especially like I always say like, hey man, see these movies as cheap as you can. But this is one where I'm like, no, you need IMAX or XD or real
It's one of
good
those.
sound.
It's one of those sci-fi films that usually when they make sci-fi films and you look at the production art, usually when these movies come out, they'll have a production art book, and with a lot of the concept drawings, this whole movie, the way they captured it, the way it looked like you were looking at a painting. Every scene looked like an amazing sci-fi painting. Where I was like, man, this is really like taking me. This is really like taking me aback because it reminds me so much of like the 70s sci-fi, the books that you'd see based on sci-fi. Where I'm like, wow, they made it look right. They made it look realistic, and it's just gorgeous all the way through. So yeah, you're right. The movie does start off slow. But I found myself not caring how slow it was because I was just amazed every time they showed a new view from different places on Earth, just devastated. Especially, there's a gorgeous shots of the moon. You realize in the story the moon has been destroyed, and they have like this great, beautiful shots of the moon, just all looking like hell. And I'm like, wow, that is gorgeous.
It really, I mean, you see so many of these films that don't have the budget to do it right, and you kind of feel sorry for them, but you're like, well, I'll help you along. I'm not going to pay attention too much.
Yeah.
How cute. But here, where they had the money and they spent it in all the right ways to bring this to life, it was like the ghost of Sid Mead, the designer from all those movies from the 70s, came back to do this.
And I found out something tonight which was really interesting when we like to talk about practical effects. I heard that a majority of all the shots where they were at their home base, where you see the outside skyline or clouds and stuff, all of that was done with rear projection.
It looked that way. That was the thing. It's so much of it looks solid.
All right, well,
Yeah, I mean, and what I like as well is like, unlike a lot of modern sci-fi that tries to overcomplicate everything, like everything has got to be so busy. It's the simplicity of this that makes it kind of beautiful. It's like, I mean, the modern sci-fi stuff is all very, like you said, it's like 2001. It's very clean lines. It's very believable, but it's just so beautiful. And the way it's shot, the cinematography around it, I mean, they just so take advantage of the things they've built to use here. There's this one amazing shot of the house they live in when they're swimming in this sort of, I don't know if it's like a held in by energy pool that was like breathtaking. Like, oh my God, that's incredible.
Yeah, you go like, I want one of those.
I want that house.
where am I?
Iron Man wishes he had one of those.
It's like, look, if the world has to be destroyed so I get one of these, well, so be it.
And I wish I could say it's a shame that the rest of it is a bad movie. It's not a bad movie. It's just, I think that it's a film that people who are as experienced with seeing these films, have seen all the movies it's grabbing from, are going to walk out of it having identified every last thing it's crammed together in a plot that's relatively telegraphed. It's not real hard to figure out what's going on.
That is the problem with the plot. It's almost like there's that point where he meets his enemy, and you get Morgan Freeman, who kind of like comes on and go like, okay, it's not everything you think. It's almost like it peaks right there. It's like it's more exciting the idea of the secret. Then once it comes out, you kind of like, I kind of know what's next. And
after all the aesthetics of the movie, the way it looks, that's where it ends for me. I found Tom Cruise's performance to be good, and I found his character, the situation that he was in, to be interesting. But I found all these characters boring. I found them taking too long with this story, and I once I get used to the look of it, and I like it, I love what I'm seeing. I get used to it, and I'm thinking I'm checked out at this point. And the first half of the movie, I think, is stronger than the second half, because the first half, the mystery is there. The second half is where not only is everything you say is telegraphed. I don't even think you have to be that experienced. I think you can kind of start to figure out what's going on. But on top of that, characters just do dumb shit.
Well, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, this is where I guess where I disagree with you guys because as slow
Look
as
at
that.
me. You disagree with me.
Yes, I
I was
do.
gonna say I actually kind of disagree with him too.
Oh, okay. All right. Well,
He don't speak for me.
Oh, let's up for Leon.
so who's speaking for who? Let me get this right.
Corey's speaking for Corey.
Who's on my side?
Corey's all on his own.
I know. Yeah.
Well, I mean,
and he's even reviewing the movie that was playing in his sleep.
oh, in sleep.
That's the craziest
Well, the movie,
dream.
in the movie I dreamed, it was boring.
Leon, I would have loved to have seen that movie that he was talking about, or maybe not. But with the second part of the film, though, I thought, regardless of sure, it's kind of telegraphed, and you sort of see the pieces come together already in your head if you're familiar with this type of genre. I found myself, though, being completely engaged with just there was something else on top of what they were telling you that really took me by surprise, and it was one of the things that I really dug about it because it kept on opening up a bigger story to where I thought the payoff of this film really did it for me because, I mean, they had great characters. Well, Tom Cruise, you're right. He was acting his ass off in this movie.
Ass off.
Yeah, and you know what? When Tom Cruise doesn't have a lot to work with besides a spaceship
and some rocks
and some chick, and far away and some rocks.
Tom Cruise is Wally.
I'm glad you said it because that's all I was thinking. I was like, wow, this is my version of Wally. This is what I wanted to see in Wally. But I mean, but his character though, I thought that they wrote a really great, interesting character for him that I liked. I mean, there's a lot of things about that character that I was just finding myself really getting emotionally attached to as far as what he was going through with his story.
He knows how to hit all the right beats with that character to make him seem convincing within the story. And I agree with Corey in so much that, I mean, he's really the primary character. Everybody else is either in this just a small bit or you just don't give that much of a shit about them. But my problem in the second half isn't really the things he's saying so much as that it got to that point with it being telegraphed where you're watching all these pieces come together and you're like, I know every one of these pieces so well and it's so obvious where they're all from, how they're put together. I felt like I was watching the boardroom meeting behind the making of the film and not actually watching the film anymore. I'm like, hey, I admire what you're doing, and for an audience that isn't as jaded as we are, there's no real problems with it. There's no holes in it that I could detect. It's just, that audience who's not super familiar with this stuff is going to be wowed. And sure enough, listening to them coming out, they were like, that was really amazing.
Now, you know as a screener audience.
But anybody who hasn't seen these movies to know where they came from, for them it's going to, it will be a
See, I like how when audiences come out that praise movies we don't like it. These dumb motherfuckers came out. Can you believe they liked it? And we like a movie they're like,
it's shaky ground. I get what you're saying.
I'm saying people I actually know.
Yeah, and I wouldn't listen to the audience. I'm just saying, for me in general, watching it, I'm like, you know what? If I hadn't seen this and I didn't know everything that was coming up because I've seen it so many times, and I'm hardly ever the person to guess what's coming up next. I'm like, wow, if I caught on, you really didn't cover it up that well. But there's going to be people who haven't seen it who will be shocked. And the only thing I had a really big problem with, I mean, I wish, Morgan Freeman wasn't playing just so Morpheus and he had a bigger role. They found a way to change it up some. But I was digging everything until, I guess, Olga Kurylenko.
Yeah.
I thought she was really flat. Yeah.
See?
Just like your pronunciation.
Olga Kurylenko. I thought she was really flat. And her character needed to not be flat. Like she's such an important character in this, by the time she comes in, I needed more life from her.
Well, she did what she needed to do in some ways, but when it gets to the third act and they want to bring emotional resonance into it, which is very key with her, she never really steps up to the plate there. And it doesn't help that as well. That the third act spends a lot of time towards the end of it, showing us stuff we didn't even really need to see that happened before the movie even started. It's like, we already know all this pretty much. Why do we have to sit through you showing it to us?
Because it's gorgeous?
Well, it shows, not even the part that was, though. I mean, there's just a whole space scene that was like, well, this is all right, but I don't need to see this. And it's taking away from the emotional beats there that the film requires to sell the ending.
Yeah. I you know what? There's another character I like. It's Morgan Freeman, but I think I would have liked him better had he just tried to act and quit trying to be cool. because the whole thing.
When you put on shades like that, you can't help.
That's
but
what I'm
be
saying
cool.
though. He got these shades. He finally got to wear Batman's cape. He's proud. He's just walking the whole thing.
Hey, when somebody gives you a stogie, how you not
and
gonna
then he
look
got a
cool?
cigar. And he ain't really acting.
That's what I'm talking about. That's like when they're making this, like, we need to make him like Morpheus, but even cooler. What if we gave him Batman's cape?
Yeah,
That's it.
and gave him a cigar.
That's the only way Morpheus could be cool.
I've been watching you, Jack. You're curious. What are you looking for in those books? Do they bring back old memories?
You won't get anything from me. My memory's been wiped to protect the
Security of the mission. Yes. You can't have your precious memory falling into the wrong hands now, can you? You just repair drones. Don't go into the radiation zone. Don't ask too many questions. Not part of the job description.
The only problem I had with that was that he was acting cool when they were under like extreme danger so much of the time to where like they should have been a little bit they should have been jumpier.
That's what I'm saying because
man, okay, get in here.
Exactly. That's what I'm talking about. Morgan Freeman. Morgan Freeman was he was in the movie. He was so much.
I got you here.
Yeah, he was sitting back.
Eat some Jello pudding pops and going to the forbidden zone.
What are you doing right now?
That's not Morgan Freeman. That's Bill Cosby.
I don't know. I saw a black guy with a cigar and I lost my head.
I know. You were just going on your own world. We all just stopped and like, damn, is he possessed by Bill Cosby right now?
When did that cigar turn into a Jello pudding pop?
Yeah. But no, Morgan Freeman was sitting there. I mean, through the whole movie, he's just like, hello, Tom Cruise. He just legs crossed this shit. But then finally, there was a point where he was sitting there and he's like, shit. He dumped his shit. You're like, who shot that shit, man?
Who's shooting at me?
Yeah, oh shit. You know what? I'll give my review right now. I just think that it is a gorgeous movie, but it's a sparse film. And I think that there are things that when it's a movie that is so hollow, and I mean hollow as in the environment. Now, I don't mean that's a bad thing. It's just there's not a lot going on. It is very sparse, and it kind of applies to the acting in the way and I would also say the pacing of the film. I really think this could have been tighter for me because a lot of it just felt empty on so many fronts outside of just how nice the movie looked. There are a couple of action sequences in here that are really good. One of them's ripping off Star Wars too, So
hey, if you're gonna rip off somebody, rip off
Star Wars. But you know what? It worked. There's a few moments of suspense where you have the drones chasing after Tom Cruise. So I'm not saying that this movie is nothing that's not worth seeing. I'm just not giving it. I'm not giving it a full price. I'm not giving it the benefit of that kind of high praise. I'm giving this a low matinee.
Huh. Wow, I disagree with you on.
I don't care.
So many points. I ain't talking to you.
My review.
You see, I'm looking over here at the smart people.
Talking to Bill Cosby.
You're talking to him.
He's talking to Bill Cosby right now.
Hey, Bill.
Because it's
Filled, phlegm, filled.
But as far as you call it's sparse and complain about the pacing. Yeah, that was the whole idea. That the first half of this movie is totally a great homage to all these 70s classic sci-fi movies that had that kind of pacing, that had that sparseness, and it works, and it's beautiful, and there is such tension. You say a couple of great action
I said
sequences?
a couple.
There's so many great action sequences in here. I mean,
agreed.
some of them just, they take your breath away, and watching Tom Cruise, he's amazing. I only wish the second half could have been as good as the first half. It's like they really stuck to their principles and their guns, and it came to that point where somebody said, like, look, this ain't the 70s. You got to pick up the action and give the people what they want. And so, unfortunately, it kind of dumbed itself down to it watered itself down to be the kind of plot that plays to a more mainstream audience. Still, not great. But it wasn't bad. It wasn't terrible, especially if you haven't seen these movies. I found it, unlike Tron Legacy, which I did, I was like you, where I was like, okay, it's gorgeous. I'm over it. The rest of this is dumb. I don't care. This was one where I'm like, yeah, it's not as good as it was, but it still keeps impressing me with the things it's doing, with the action and the design and the beauty and the sound. And I give it a very high matinee.
I agree with almost everything that you just said there, really. Especially the way that you pointed out that, yes, there's sparseness, but in exactly the right way. Because they didn't want to make just a balls-to-the-wall action film. They want to make it when there is action, you go, wow, and you do. And the sparseness serves to give you a sort of a feeling for the atmosphere of the place. A film with this kind of cinematography and the beauty of the designs, yeah, you want to take the time to just appreciate it. And it does give you those opportunities. But unfortunately, when it comes down to the way this thing was written as a complete 3-act structure, they went to the Philip K. Dickensian book of screenwriting and said, let's just pull out all the same tricks so many people have used before in either films based directly on Dick Works or ripping that sort of thing off. And there's no point that you don't go, having seen those films, I know everything that's going to happen at this point. Yeah. Pretty much. There's a nice little twist that happens towards the beginning of the 3rd act. I was like, what's he going to do now? I was like, that's pretty funny. But, it's not the film that keeps you guessing, but it does keep you gasping just at how pretty it is. It's hard to dislike it. Yes, it's made for more of a sort of mainstream audience. It toys at being cerebral and has the feeling of being cerebral more than it actually is. But, if you can let go of your jadedness to some extent, it's a good time in the theater. I'm actually going to give this a low full price.
Yeah, I guess I'm that mainstream audience because, I honestly, at the end of it, I thought it kept on opening up more doors that I found really interesting. And sure, like we've said, it's familiar, but as long as you have a good character, a good solid character, you still want to follow his journey all the way to the end. And as long as they keep that, what that character is, that heart of that character still alive, regardless of just like a,
the hell?
Damn it, I'm malfunctioning.
You're the guy.
Damn, boy. Got to send you to the shop.
I got skeleton bones rattling in my behind.
How's that virus treating you?
Yeah.
I didn't see no fat lady.
I know. The tongue bone connected to the ass bone.
Like I said, if they keep the heart of that character and what he's about, and if that whole structure of that character survives at the end, I'm really down with that. And I mean, like I said, it's a gorgeous film to look at. It sounds amazing.
Yeah,
Go see this at an IMAX if you have the opportunity. It must be seen on an IMAX. The visuals, the sound of it, the score is incredible. So I'm giving this a really full matinee. I mean, full matinee.
Yes, okay. So anyway,
I'm giving
thanks
this a
for
full
listening to
price.
our review,
This is
everybody.
a full price.
See you later
It's a
next
full
time.
price.
Goodbye.
Why aren't you telling me? Who are you?
Help us end this.
You don't have to die. They don't have to die. It's time to come home.
I'm not gonna do that. Earth is my home.